freedom, baby, yeah!
Hey, did you hear shit behind that? Like music? No. Oh my God. We are having some weird difficulties. There's ghosts talking to me in one ear. And how are you, folks? Wednesday, which is hump day for me in Dallas. You know, what are we, October 9th?
Yep.
9th. How'd that happen? What happened to the first week? It gets creepy, folks. For those of you out there, I noticed it when I hit 30 to 40. I went, that went a little too fast. And then 40 to 50, I went, what the fuck happened? 50 to 60. Might as well fucking put me in the coffin. Oh, that's not true. Shut up. I'll decide when to die. Look at that. Age spot. It's a map of Italy. What part of the boot are you from, hun? I got nothing today. Hope you guys got more. Real quick, I got to mention the storm. Well, actually, I have a story on it. I don't have to mention, but that Milton Park. I got a brother and a sister who have houses in Naples. And even they were told to. I don't know if they were told to pack their shit, but they said when this hits, yesterday they said it's a 5 because we know it went from like a 3 to a 5 in minutes, and then they said by the time it hits, which is today. They said it would be a 3, but they said it's going to hit with such force, it's going to change the West Coast for the state of Florida like forever. That's what they're saying. I mean, it could be a popcorn fart, but I doubt it. Even DeSantis is like, get the fuck out of there now. Yeah. There's some lady who's an influencer staying there. Anything for a story. Anything for followers. Your followers will be carrying your fucking coffin. If they find you. What is going on? And yeah, I know. Don't get into the government's create. Well, I don't know. I don't know. But don't give me the shit. These things happen. That's extreme weather because of, global warming. Shut your filthy mouth. This shit's been going on for thousands of years. You can look at it. Joe, huh? Yeah. You just look at it. Shit, Ice Age. People golfing. Dinosaurs golfing. And as David Letterman once said famously, the reason the dinosaurs disappeared is they couldn't adjust to the metric system. That was one of the top 10 lists. There's some that stick in my mind. My favorite one was when the Broncos lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl. They had top 10 excuses by the Broncos. Like number 4 was they were pushing and shoving us. And the other one was hotel rooms the night before were haunted by the ghost of Shemp. What happened to him? What happened to Howard Stern? You see him? Oh my God. What? He's got a vagina. And I hate to say that because he was good to me. And he was funny and irreverent and original, and he has, and I said it before, that's what happens when you rely on therapy. They'll turn you into the buttercup that they want you to be. Anyhow, enough of the poo-poo and the caca. Hey, Nick, turn this on. It might help the show. Anyhow, interesting show today. I can't watch any more of Kamala Harris, and I'm just getting nervous how they're saying it's so close. That means that they have a plan that it has nothing to do with this. They just want to make sure. It doesn't matter how many people show up for the Dems to vote Dem. It doesn't. They already have a plan to steal this thing. I saw some guy on the internet yesterday. It was just a clip on X. He was in a public forum, like a town hall thing. There was a live audience there, and I don't know who was on stage. And he just said to whoever he was talking to, he goes, well, when do we start to break out the guns? He goes, how many of these are we going to let them steal? Which to me is a totally legitimate question. I mean, if you look at your history, that's how wars come about, or civil wars. The other side has to step up, and one side's trampling it and ignoring all the fucking rules. Anyhow, shut up. Okay, I will. CBS edits Harris interview. This was on 60 Minutes to make her look less retarded. The Trump campaign called on CBS News' 60 Minutes to release its full, unedited transcript, not even the show, just the transcript with Vice President Kamala Harris. 60 Minutes, which aired Harris's interview Monday night, spliced and diced the conversation, preventing voters from making up their own minds about her answers. So, like I said, they have a plan.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
On Sunday, 60 Minutes teased Kamala's highly anticipated sit-down interview with one of her worst word salads to date, which received significant criticism on social media from people on all sides. It's a consensus. She finally brought us together. We all agree she's fucking retarded. Caroline Leavitt, the Trump campaign's national press secretary, wrote in a statement, what I just read. During the full interview on Monday evening, the word salad was deceptively edited to lessen Kamala's idiotic response. She said, why did 60 Minutes choose not to air Kamala's full word salad? And what else did they choose not to air? She asked.
It's a sick question. You're a sick fuck, and I'm not that sick that I'm going to answer it.
The American people deserve the full unedited transcript from Kamala's sit-down interview. We call upon 60 Minutes and CBS to release it. Oh, I'm sure they'll get right on it. What do they and Kamala have to hide? Good question. Levitt question. Here is the unedited and then the edited stuff CBS aired instead. You'll see the first one, the actual answer, and then we'll show you the second one in black and white to show what they did to it. And how is it? I mean, they just get to do it. Nobody's accountable. Nobody shuts them down as a propaganda network. They can do whatever they want. Joe Biden was fucking crashing in the ratings, so they put her in with no votes. And is that how it works? Your candidate's doing shitty in polls so you can replace them at the last second. Pretty sure that's unconstitutional. Not to mention flying in illegals to vote in this. All this shit is just fine. So that's why when that guy said, when do we break out the guns? I thought it was a legitimate question. Not saying I'm doing it, not condoning it, but boy, yeah. Here you go. Here's the unedited cut first.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Take two. You can hear the director. And action. You fucking believe that? Can you give me a couple examples where the media ever did that for a Republican president? Ever? Can you? This guy, Bill Whitaker, actually asked, he was actually good. Follow-up questions and said, at one point he goes, excuse me, that was not the question I asked. And then he said, but in the real world, he actually said that. You got a CBS guy at 60 Minutes. You couldn't find a more left-wing show or network actually badgering this dope. It's an insult, I'll say it again, to the American public, to their intelligence, that she has to be anywhere near the fucking job of president of the United States. It's embarrassing. God, I wish I had those shoes. I love those shoes. Anyways, speaking of nuts, let's move on to Just Plain Crazy. That's plain, spelled like an airplane. Clever bitch. Did you hear Alabama's rim shot over there? You sound like that guy that you play with no teeth. Just Plain Crazy. Harrowing footage released by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. I used to work for them. I got caught stealing some atmosphere out of the fridge. Aircraft Operations Center shows a research plane violently shaken. They call it a research plane. I call it Spared Airlines. Violently shaking, like somebody having a seizure in the cockpit, from heavy turbulence as it flew directly into Hurricane Milton. Isn't it funny? This is the most badass hurricane ever. One of them, it's got a name like a rich waspy guy. I say that. I'm going to take those trailer parks and throw them away.
Watch out, Milton's coming.
Hey, that was pretty good. I say that. You don't want to live in that double wide, do you? The view from the passenger side window of Miss Piggy. Again, my girlfriend's name in high school. Is that the plane? It doesn't look like a big, you'd think it would look like a 130 or a C-17, whatever the fuck those big bellied, that doesn't look that tough. The view from the passenger side window of Miss Piggy, a fucking Jim Henson production. The Lockheed WP-3D Orion aircraft shows the plane flying through an impenetrable gray sky as it's pounded by blistering rain. And then it says, bumpy ride into hurricane, #Milton. Operations Center wrote on post on X. The agency said the purpose of the trip was to collect data for hurricane. Really, you got to fly through it? I could look up and go, rain and some serious wind. What are you going to find in there? A guy going like this with a terrible towel? Hurricane research and help improve the storm's forecast. All right. Just don't get mad when one of these things... I don't understand. I can be in a plane and we hit we hit the wake of another plane and it knocks you silly. But you can fly right through this fucker? Come on now. Inside the plane were at least 4 drunken NOAA researchers who had to be forced on at gunpoint. No, if you guys want to see what it looks like inside the plane to fly through a vicious hurricane, here's a little bit of footage for you.
Grab my phone real quick.
Look at these guys. That's when American Airlines brings out the piping hot soup. George McDonough used to say, one of my favorite comedians ever. This is not the agency's first rodeo. Our NOAA WP-3D Orion aircraft have been flying into storms for almost 50 years, said Jonathan Shannon, public affairs specialist for NOAA Aircraft Operations Center. Shannon said these missions are necessary because their scientists cannot get this important data our forecasters need at this scale and resolution any other way. Well, let me ask you this. If it's so important, you're gathering so much data, and you've done these things for years, why are we still having them? What are you doing with the data? You motherless fucks. Nick, come on. Oh, shut up. Anyways, I don't know that I have the balls to do that. At some point, are we going to feel bad if that plane, went into a death slide, a barrel roll? Or are we going to kind of giggle? Oh, they love what they're doing. At least they died loving what they were doing. Shit in their pants, hanging onto a wing. I don't know what information you can get. I know atmospheric, all that stuff. I just think, I don't know. I'm just a girl and I wouldn't do it. That's all I'm saying. Well, Nick, that's sexist. Yeah, well, fucking sue me. Anyways, let's move on. The voice in my head, you just heard it. Scientists believe they've discovered where the voices heard by some people with schizophrenia emanate from using brainwave mapping. There is Kamala's head filled with Mr. Planner peanuts. She's looking back at her own brain, and she hears this.
Hello? 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 Anybody there?
Absolutely not. As detailed in a new study published in the journal PLOS Biology and conducted by researchers at NYU's Shanghai campus. What? That's the most shocking thing of this whole article. New York University has a campus in Shanghai? Or do we have one in New York where it's all Asians pretending to be white people? The way people experience auditory hallucinations may not be that different from the way humans hear external sounds. Because these voices are processed like any other sound in the brain. Is it really? Even if it's already in there? It's being processed as if you heard it from an external source? I don't get it. I'm questioning your hypothesis. That's right, a C student, University of Maine. Like any other sound in the brains of people who experience auditory hallucinations, the team at NYU Shanghai's Institute of Brain and Cognitive Science, I used to return punts for them, full scholarship, decided to put electroencephalogram, that's brain, EEG monitors on people with schizophrenia. Kamala Harris was there, Joe Biden and Hunter. 20 participants who hear voices and 20 who don't, to see what was the difference about their brains. And it was very easy. The ones that were hallucinating had their brains bashed in by their dads. Okay, if she's crazy and she looks like that, I want her. This broad, can you imagine the crazy ones in bed? What's better than that? Hanging from a ceiling fan at the motel, spinning around, peeing the Budweiser you fed them. I think I've said that on stage a few times. As the researchers discovered, it appeared that the brains of those who experience audio hallucinations, crazy homeless, failed to fire off the corollary discharge. Oh, you ever smell the corollary discharge? Signal, which silences our inner monologues. I didn't know we had any to be silenced, and prepares our bodies to hear sounds coming out of our own mouths. And you can hear shit like this. If you silence the inner monologue, then you can hear shit like this.
You're fucking crazy.
Oh, don't. All righty. It's doing a herky-jerky thing. While they prepared to say a syllable aloud per the scientist's instructions, the hallucinating group not only didn't turn off their inner monologues, I just pictured somebody in there going, to be or not to be, so to speak, but also had what seemed to be a hyperactive response to what's known as efference copy, a brain signal that instructs the motor functions associated with vocalizing. Translation, let me clean it up for you. Audio hallucinations activate the sound processing part of the brain while also impairing some of the motor functions associated with speaking. As a result, there seems to be a breakdown in the way people who have auditory hallucinations process their own thoughts, which ultimately leads them to externalize them as outside sounds or voices. You can get rid of all of that with 2 Advil PM, I'm telling you. Fucking knock that shit right out of there. But I remember doing Horace and Pete. Remember Louis C.K. did this brilliant, he shot it like a Broadway play. It was a series of like 14 episodes or whatever. But Steve Buscemi played a guy with schizophrenia. And they were having a dialogue in that show where Louis' character is discussing the schizophrenia with him. And Buscemi's character goes, he goes, yeah, I know I have schizophrenia. He goes, right now, he goes, I think I'm talking to you, but I could be in a deli swinging an axe right now. That sent shivers through my head. That's Louis. That's how bright that like summed it up for me. I remember watching that scene, going, holy shit. Is that the best way? That really is the best way to, if you're crazy, to kind of describe that. Yeah, I'm sitting here talking to you right now, but I could be in a, chasing some girl in a high school bathroom with a knife. Sounds kind of fun, actually. Am I right? Sure. A lot of famous people are cuckoo, though. James Taylor, the singer, spent many years in the nut house. You can imagine that guy with that nice soothing voice. He's throwing shit at his wife, no shirt on. I'm trying to think of one of his songs, but I can't. Anyhow, for those of you guys right now on Mug Club, stick around for the rest of the show. The rest of you guys, go to nickdip.com and sign up for Mug Club. You'll get my entire show, Steven Crowder's entire show. Alex Jones pops in now and then. Most of all, you get the undercover team where they go undercover with those hidden cameras and they get somebody very important drunk and they put a pretty girl in front of that person and the guys' egos take over and they start bragging. Yeah. Like they remember a couple weeks ago, that guy that was in charge of the lockdown in New York City during COVID was bragging about how he's having sex parties. He's toast. They do that, and they're sitting on a couple more big ones, I am told by Crowder himself. So when you're at nickdip.com, also click on my tour button. You'll see November 9th, which is basically a month away from tomorrow or today. Today is the 9th? Today, 1 month from now, Bridgeview Center Theater, Ottumwa, Iowa. I have to take a helicopter in there from the Des Moines airport. Fuck. I can't wait. I love to go to places I haven't played before. You never know what's going to happen. Anyways, Also, later in the show, for you guys that are sticking around, I got a couple of interesting stories. Update on that Deadspin story. Remember the little kid that went to a Chiefs game with a black and red on his face? But the Deadspin black journalist just took a picture of him with just a black face and said something about how his parents taught him to hate black and Indians at one. Remember that? And the family sued. Well, a judge gave the thumbs up that lawsuit can go on. Boy, does it move slow, the wheels of justice. You just getting to that now?
Right.
Anyway.
Also, the kid was, Native.
And he was he had Native American blood in him, right? You're right. Or did he have Native American blood on him? Didn't he actually stab a little Indian? According to Deadspin. And also, a couple of Harvard students, I think they were Asian from the clip. Those smart glasses that fucking Zuckerberg invented? Well, they found a creepy way to use those. And you're not going to miss that. That one sent the chill up my ass. And no, guys, it's not looking through girls' clothes. We all sent away for those. What a jip. Didn't we?
Hi. Good night, everybody.